Hey everyone, Steve here for Hoot to Bucket Ice Miniature Wargaming, and today we're going to be looking at getting your younger kids into wargaming, and a way to do it that's really inexpensive and lets you know if they're really interested before going out and getting a get started box set or whatever and putting a ton of money and time into setting it up. Well, maybe they're just not that interested. So I've got a perfect example of it. I'm going to cover that right now, but first, if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. Here we go. Alright, so here we go, guys. So, my oldest is at the age now where he's getting interested in the models I'm painting. Dad, what are you painting? What's that? What does this go with? That's super cool, right? So I'm busy painting up Space Marines or what have you, and he's really getting into it. He's really liking it. He wants to see further. Now, he's about the age where maybe it is time to show him how to start playing the game. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I've seen this video, videos like this in the past where people try to get their kids into it and they're really excited. Then they realize they have to build it, they have to paint it, or they just don't understand some of the tactical concepts. It gets confusing for them. And there are a lot of rules in all the games. It doesn't matter if you're playing a Games Workshop game, Privateer Press, a Warlord, doesn't matter. The rules can be very complicated, especially when you're younger and you can't get your head around all them. So I thought, is there a way to get kids interested, or to see if they're interested, I should say, and teach them a very basic game and do it in a way that you don't have to invest a ton of money and time into setting up all these models, building them, painting them, getting them ready. Even if you just put the models together, it's still a investment of time and money. It's got to be an easier, less expensive, but also very fun way of doing it. And I found one. So just a little bit of research. I came across these rules. The One Brain Cell Toy Soldiers rule by Peter Kautz. He made this in 2001. So obviously this is something that's been thought about before. Now these are basic rules for playing a war game. And it uses little green soldiers, right? These guys are fantastic. I mean, who hasn't had these at some point in their life? I mean, they're part of our part of the popular culture. I mean, there was a video game series based around them. In fact, from what I understand, I saw something about they're actually making female versions of these soldiers now, which is cool, right? But what's awesome about this is I've got, I think, something like 35 of them for $1.25 at a local dollar store, right? So yeah, it's a great way. The kids get to have fun. So we're going to go through these rules real quick. I'm going to just run through them quick. And just to see how simple they are. And I'll run through a quick little scenario I've got set over there. But here we go. So I'm going to flip around. I'm going to take a look at these rules.
And then I have some of my little soldiers set up here. And we'll just kind of go through them quickly here. Alright, so here we go. So turn order is much like most games. Player A moves, shoots, fights. Player B does the same. You can also see things, player A and B test morale if using advanced rules. We'll get to that later. So first off, we have squads. So it says squad should be 5 to 10 troopers with a leader. There's 5 of them right there. This little guy here is my leader. Normal squad may have 2 special weapons in it. A game of with 2 or 3 squads on the side can be played in about an hour or so. So for instance, this guy here would be a special. He's got a machine gun. And over here, the bazooka there would be the special for this squad. Alright, so movement. Troopers must stay within 4 inches of one another. If not, for some reason, then all sixes roll for them will count as 5s to show reduced leadership. So if you're at long range and you guys are separated and you need a 5 or 6, you know, it's going to get harder. Movement, very simple again. I'm liking this. In rough terrain, 4 inches, which is about half your normal. Walk is 8 inches. Run, 12 inches. Cannot run within 12 inches of enemy. That's pretty cool. In charge, hand-to-hand, you roll 2d6. Roll for each individual figure entering hand-to-hand. Charge 1d6 in rough terrain. So basically, rough terrain cuts your movement in half. Just done like that. A figure wishing to enter hand-to-hand combat must charge. They may not walk, etc. That makes sense. Shooting. All right. So for instance, let's go back to that charging. If I want to walk, I get an 8-inch distance. Should be like that, somewhere around that. If I want to charge, I have to roll 2d6 for each individual. Right. So that would be, he'd only go 3 inches. Right. This gentleman here, well, he's going 8 inches. Right. So that's pretty cool. You kind of, each individual soldier, you got to worry about that, which adds a bit of complexity to it. Nothing huge, nothing that a younger player can't wrap their head around. All right, we get to shooting. To shoot at a target, a figure must be reasonably able to draw a line of sight to them. That's pretty basic. If a figure's line of sight is blocked by another figure by blocking terrain, then you may not shoot them. Basic. If you can see, you can shoot. If you can't, done. Now, it doesn't cover things like shooting weapons, but that's something, or if you see weapons sticking out but not a body, that's kind of, I guess, up to you. All right. For each weapon, a short and long range is listed. We'll get to the list in a second. A short range or less, you need to roll a 4, 5, or 6 to hit. And long range, you need 5 or 6. If the target's behind cover or in rough terrain, then you need a 5 or 6 to hit at short range and a 6 to hit at long range, right? So that's where that being separated from your guys kind of can hurt you if you have to roll 6s because you're at long range and someone's in rough terrain or behind cover. It can hurt. All right. You notice they're shooting. We'll get to the next page in a second. We have a shooting chart. Right. Basically goes over what we just said there. And if you notice, there's no rolling to wound. There's no rolling for armor saves. Basically, if your little soldiers hit, they're done. It's that simple. Makes things much easier, makes things go much faster. And then we have a pretty extensive weapon chart here for this. So you have things like pistols, rifle, light machine gun, heavy machine gun, bazooka, flamethrower, mortar, and sniper rifle. All the sort of stuff you'd see on our little green toy soldiers here. What's really cool is some of them have a special. For instance, the light machine gun gets to roll 2 dice to hit. So you can actually take out 2 enemy soldiers. A heavy machine gun has much longer range, and you roll 3 dice to hit, but cannot move and shoot in the same turn, right? Kind of like running around with a heavy bolter or something like that, right? Bazooka is pretty cool, not less than 8 inches, so it has no short range, but you roll 4 dice to hit, which is actually pretty nasty. You take out most of a squad with 1 shot. Have a couple bazookas in 1 unit, guy's done. Flamethrower, mortar, sniper rifle. I like the sniper rifle. Your short range is 12 inches, which is nice. 36-inch long range. But you roll 3 dice to hit, can only cause 1 hit no matter how many hits are rolled, which I like. So basically, you are going to hit, but because it's a sniper rifle, only really gets 1 shot. You're just making sure it's a very accurate shot. I like that. Again, you roll up, you hit, your opponent is done, right? So for instance, if I take this squad here, and I decide I'm shooting with all 4 rifles, I take 4 shots. I would say I'm probably over 8 inches. I know I measured it before, so I'm on the long range, so I need 5s or 6s. All right, and nada. That's horrible. Wow, it's a lot of 1s. Now let's say my machine gun is shooting. Oh, look at that. He got a hit. So one of these guys is kaput. So say this guy dies. Boom, done. It's that simple. Now, say the squad is returning fire. I'll roll 3 rifles first. I need a 5 or 6, so 1 guy is hit. And then we take the bazooka. I like this bazooka here. It gets 4 dice. I need 5s or 6s. Alright, so I get 2 of them. So 2 guys here are toast. Let's say these guys are toast. Alright, that's pretty nasty. It's pretty fast. It's fun. And you're not trying to look at charts and see, oh, well, what's the strengths? What's the toughness? It's a great way to just kind of get down to having soldiers dying on the battlefield. The kids like that action right off the bat. It's fun. I like it. This is cool. All right, so we're going to flip to the next page here. Special weapons. This, again, just kind of goes through what we just did right there. Now, hand to hand, this is where it gets slightly more complicated. Not really, though. So say, for instance, I've got these soldiers lined up here. Oh, things are falling over. I got these soldiers lined up here. Got a leader. Got a guy there. That's some guys all lined up. And I got these soldiers over here. Now say they are well within their charge range, right? So I have to roll 2d6 for each one. So top guy, he's going 7. So let's say he makes it in. Alright, I'm not going to roll for each one because that does take time. Let's say these guys charge in. I'm going to show you why I'm charging in like this off the bat here. With those two guys there. And this guy goes there. Alright, so let's go to hand-to-hand combat. H2H. Alright, you must use a charge option to enter in hand-to-hand combat. Roll 2 dice and move that number of inches. Sometimes the soldier will get quote-unquote cold feet and not close in as fast as you'd hoped. Sort of basically failed charge. Figures who charge within 1 inch are considered to be in hand-to-hand combat, and neither figure may move away. Roll 1 dice for each figure individually, adding the following modifiers. So you get +1 if the total of the figure is armed with a pistol, knife, or other close combat weapon. Well, I don't have to worry about that here. Add +1 to the total of the figure as a squad leader. Well, you have a squad leader here and a squad leader here. So one here, one here. Alright. +1 per additional attacker. Up to 3 attackers can gang up on 1 soldier or 1 defender, granting +2 bonus to each of the rolls. Strength in numbers. The highest roll wins. Losers are removed immediately. If it's tied in the fight, they fight again next round. So let's do here. So we have these two guys charged in here. So they each get 1, plus they get an extra 1 because they have an additional attacker. The leader gets 2. So if they roll up theirs and they get a 6, and the leader rolls up his, well, that leader is done. Right? He's toast. We have the squad leader here against one of their pistol or one of their riflemen. So the squad leader gets 1. It's 2, sorry. He gets 1. Squad leader goes. He rolls a 5. And the rifleman, well, he rolls a 6. So look at that. Squad leader's down. It's that simple. And then over here, we get these two guys on the bazooka. Again, you kind of want to take the bazooka out. That thing can hurt. So we get those two guys each get 1, +1 for having an extra attacker against the bazooka. So let's roll the bazooka guy. He gets 5. These guys roll up. Oh, look at that. So it doesn't actually say what happens. I guess in that regard, both these guys would be dead. So that's, ouch. Did not go well for the green side. Not at all. Wow. Okay. It doesn't actually say, but if I guess if you the highest roll wins, so the losers are gone. So good on you, bazooka dude. All right, measuring is pretty simple. You can simply measure by using an 8.5 by 11 rule sheet as a guide. Round all measurements to equal half the page width. So that's basically just not having to use a tape measure if you don't want to. All right, so that's pretty awesome. So as we saw before, it also says advanced rules, which is the last page here. Right, and this is something you do once you've figured out, once your new gamer has, 1, figured out if they actually like playing or not, and 2, has started mastering the basic rules. So you have an advanced wounds rules. So basically, you have a D6 you can roll. So let's say we roll for our squad guy there. He rolls up. He rolls a 2. So he's dazed. So he'd be face down. He's not dead yet. We'll roll 1 for this guy here, Mr. I have a machine gun. And we rolled up. He rolls a 2. He's also phased. And then this gentleman right here, well, he rolls a 6, so he is gone, right? So, if you roll 1, you're stunned, lay on back, recovers next turn. 2 to 3, you're dazed, lay face down, becomes stunned next turn. 4 to 6, killed, remove immediately. So, he's done. So, these guys are just dazed, right? These guys are dazed. This guy, done. Alright, so then we also have advanced morale rules. So when a squad is reduced to less than half its original number, then roll 1d6 to test morale. If the number rolled is greater than the number of figures left alive in the squad routs and flees from the battle. At the end of the player turn, any of their units with less than half its starting number must take a morale check. So example, a squad of 10 men is reduced to 5. At the end of the turn, a morale test is made on 1 die and 3 is rolled. The unit keeps fighting for another turn. At the end of this next turn, the unit is reduced to 4 figures. A morale test is made and 5 is rolled. The unit routes and is removed from the board. So, for the sake of it, let's say these guys are actually dead. Alright, I have to roll for these guys here. And I roll 1, so they keep going. Nice. So they have 2 guys left. They rolled a 1. But there, I rolled a 4. This whole unit would be removed. Alright. You also get advanced Overwatch rules by putting tokens on stuff. And there's an actually advanced turn sequence where you only activate 1 squad instead of using your entire army. So that's pretty cool. I like it. It's very basic. It's a very inexpensive way of getting into it. So I'm going to flip back now and give sort of my final review.
Well, there you have it, guys. So that's the rules, the one brain cell toy soldier rules. Very, very basic, but also very, very easy, and flow well with some of the major games out there. It's a lot like Warhammer 40,000 from what I see, and it took very little time to find online. Getting these guys, again, extremely inexpensive. $1.25 at a dollar store got me like 35 of them, enough to have a nice little game. So yeah, this is a great way, as I said before, in order to determine whether your kids actually want to play the games, if they've shown interest in the models or what have you. It's a great way to kind of dive in and find out just how interested they are. They might want to play and just play forever. They may just stay on this and love it. It could get them in Warhammer 40,000, any of the Privateer Press stuff, Bolt Action, whatever, War Mahords, doesn't matter. You know, Age of Sigmar, anything. It's a great way to do it inexpensive without having to go get a starter set and invest the money and time in putting that together to find out they don't like it. Maybe they just like watching you paint the models or play the games. They don't want to do it themselves. And now you've invested a couple $100, you've invested some hours of time, and you're not getting anything back for it. Which, at the end of the day, is something we want. We want to invest the time and energy into this. We want sort of return, whether it's playing games, painting models, whatever. So definitely a really cool way to do it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope this gives you something to think about. So please tell me what you guys think about it. Description down below. Let me know what you think. Do you think this is a great way? You're going to try it with your kids? Or would you rather go out and get the big sets? There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to go out and get them one of the starter sets and have fun and play with it, that's fine. Go for it. I'm just offering another solution, another option, which is always great. Choice is great. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate putting in the time. And as always, I'll see you next time. Keep rolling those dice. Bye.